alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back both to the online and physical participants, and we're moving swiftly on to the next session led by Ustad Haroon, who previously worked for Google and now works for an organization called Meta, who most people like myself will know as Facebook. So they are now going to go through the 5 components which were touched on by Ustad and just specifically a couple of them components. So without further ado, I hand over to Ustad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. صدق الله العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد واغفر لي غير الغافلين. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته والسلام علينا وعلى آل الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So, Alhamdulillah, you've heard from Ustad Zafar on the purpose of life, and they covered 3 types of birth that a human being goes through. So, can anybody tell me what the first birth was? Ahmed, what's the physical birth? Anyone else on the add? There's a button there. Physical birth. And what is a physical birth?
Physical birth is when you are born into this temporary world.
Right. Okay, mashallah. So the first birth is when me, you, and everybody in terms of the animals, creation, we all are born physically in this existence. Okay. So can anyone tell me what the second birth that was covered? Yes.
Intellectual birth.
And what's intellectual birth?
Intellectual birth is when you are awakened to Islam and why you're here and your purpose.
Right, okay, mashallah. So the day you question, why is it that I'm here? So that's another day. That's the second day you're born, that you discover actually beyond this physical existence of eating, drinking, sleeping, going to work, that everything else does in its own way. Is there a greater purpose to my life other than the things that I do to fulfill my needs? Okay, mashallah. And then the final birth, somebody different. Someone on this side. Yes, we have a brother. And what's the spiritual birth?
Spiritual birth is when you was created in the world of spirits.
Right, okay. Does anyone else have anything else to add to that? So it's definitely related to spirits, that's right. Who is this? Inshallah, we'll come to that.
When you start practicing and you find connection to your pathway that you realize in your intellectual birth.
Okay, when you find a pathway, yeah, somewhat. I'm still looking for the definition. Come on, at the back. Give the mic to the brother.
So as has already been said, intellectual birth is when you find out the purpose of your life, of this temporary life. Now, spiritual birth is when you get to that.
You achieve that. Yeah, you achieve the purpose.
Yes.
Okay,
You achieve the purpose.
excellent. Okay, so spiritual birth is the day in which you then set out and achieve the purpose of your existence. And does anyone recall what the signs of that achieving the purpose of existence is? There are 3 signs that were shown. So if we don't know what we should measure ourselves against, then how do we know we've achieved the purpose of life? So we should know, isn't it? But
Allah is with us, He's watching us, and He can hear us.
right, okay, mashallah. This is referring to, yes, the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is, yes, is one of the objectives of this life. But I'm looking specifically for what was explained by the Prophet.
Relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, relationship with God, relationship with creation.
And what type of relationship?
Type that you necessarily wouldn't gain something from it out of love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fulfilling that relationship.
Excellent. So there are 3 signs of a spiritual birth, meaning that when you set out and achieve the purpose of life, that is, firstly, you should see that you have achieved a beautiful relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does that mean? That the relationship that you have with Allah is pure, meaning that it doesn't have any conditions in there. So it's not, oh, you're my Lord because you'll give me money and I'll get married and I'll have the best job. And if you don't, then I don't really want a relationship with you. That's conditional. That's like your friend being your friend because you've got a nice car or you've got a lot of money. These are what we call fake friends, isn't it? Nobody likes somebody who just uses them. So the same case is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the servant should aim to have a pure relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is what's considered a beautiful relationship. And secondly, it's mentioned that a beautiful relationship with what? The creation. So this is actually the summary of all of the deen. Every ahkam, every ruling, every prohibition, every good, halal, haram, everything can be summarized in these 2 things. That is to have a beautiful relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to have a beautiful relationship with the creation, including yourself, you are a creation. And these things, you can't have one without the other. People who claim that, I worship Allah and come to 5 daily prayers, but I don't treat people good. Well, then we know from the hadith, from the Quran as well, that on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask the servant, I was sick, but you did not visit me. I was hungry, but you did not feed me. And the servant will say, Ya Allah, you're beyond this. You are not in need of hunger, you do not eat, you do not sleep, you cannot be ill. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directs the servant and says, no, but I had a servant who was hungry. I had a servant who was sick. Meaning that the lesson from this is that when we're dealing with one another, when we're dealing with your parents, your siblings, your friends, your colleagues, your teachers, your children, actually these are a reflection of your relationship with Allah. So don't think that they're separate. And I gave an example before that. Imagine you're trying to be friends with your friend's parents, but you are abusing your friend. Do you think the parent will be happy with you? No, because you're harming their child. So not to draw any similitude, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not free from children, but the love of Allah has been explained that it is more than 70 mothers for the servant in the hadith. So imagine you're abusing their servants, but then you want a relationship with Allah. It doesn't work that way. Both have to come together. So this is spiritual death. Now, I want you to discuss in pairs of 2 or 3 where appropriate. What's the importance of covering this? What's the importance of knowing your purpose? Why is it important that we started with your purpose? And what happens if you don't have a purpose? Is that clear? So I want you to discuss in pairs for 1 minute. What is the importance of knowing your purpose? And what happens if you are without a purpose? Bismillah.
You know why you are good at why
Because you're so quick, you should definitely be the first one to challenge. You got 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. So, can we have some eager volunteers?
So you know why you're doing it and don't do it endlessly.
Sorry, that is enough.
So you know why you're doing. So you know why you're doing it. You're not going to do it endlessly. So you know your purpose and so you understand why you're doing it. So you're thinking in your head, or why we're doing this. So what good will it bring? Like, will it make Allah happy, or will I disobey Allah?
Okay, so it's a very important point that the brother mentioned, that you know why you are living your life. Why is it important? What happens if you think about the opposite? Does anybody wake up in the day and say, okay, I'm going to go on the M25 and I'm going to drive and I don't know where I'm going, I'm just going to drive. There's no end goal. People who do this typically you look down upon, and you normally see them on Eid driving up and down the same road in the same car. They look down upon. Why? Because it's purposeless. Up, down. Maybe their purpose is just to be seen. But there's no real objective of their travel. So the same case in life, if you don't have an end goal, then you don't have any focus point, and anybody can take you anywhere. That's the problem when you have no end goal. Then if somebody wants to take you in this direction, you go this direction. If Shaitan wants to take you in this direction, you go that direction. Because you have no end goal. So that's one lesson we can take from this. Anyone else? Is that a hand up, Hussayn? Okay. Let's get somebody who's sitting on the chairs. It's probably directly in front of you. Go, listen. Sorry.
I think the purpose, number one, I understand particularly to build a relationship is the way that I would try to understand it is why do you build a relationship with our spouses, why do you build a relationship with our siblings, our parents? Surely the person that created you, created everything for you. We want to have some form of relationship with your creator. Right. And that relationship is ultimately your most important relationship.
So you touched upon that everything you do in this world has some meaning behind it, isn't it? So why do you get married? There's a reason behind that, right? Why you have a job? There's a reason. If you want to earn, you want to have money. Maybe people are driven by status or power or whatever it is, but there's a meaning behind it, right or wrong. So the same case is just like there's a meaning behind why this computer was built and it serves some function or purpose. There should be a purpose behind the one that built this computer as well. By that logic. So yeah, mashallah, that's excellent. And we'll take one more.
I think you asked 2 questions, and the second question was what would happen without it. Yeah. And I said that confusion will happen, despair, loneliness, and pretty much no purpose. So when somebody has no purpose, they just go off on a tangent and do crazy things that don't make sense.
It's a very, very important point. And the Quran speaks about this in many ayats about those human beings who are lost and they're compared to like animals, or particularly those animals that graze. So what do? They just go to one patch of grass and eat, and another patch just aimlessly. The only purpose is just to eat wherever the grass is. So the same case is with the human being. Let's take 2 examples. Has anybody, put your hand up, has anyone done like a mountain climb for charity, or just a long trek where you walk for, in the forest, or a long walk? Has anyone done it? So put your hand up if you have. Okay, so quite a few people have done that. And I assume everyone else has never done any like mountain walks or anything. Okay, I think it's a good experience. You learn a lot in that process. But let's just take that example. These tasks, are they very easy tasks? No, they're not easy, are they? But we still, in spite of that, to challenge ourselves, we do these activities. So the Shah give an example, they say, look, without an end goal and a purpose, this is how somebody may experience their life. Imagine you have 2 people and they're both climbing the same mountain. Now, one person is blindfolded. They don't know that they're on a mountain, and they don't know where they're going. Right? So how do you think they're going to experience that climb? It's going to be difficult, isn't it? When they get blisters on their feet, when they're finding difficulty, when an obstacle comes in their way, do you think they know why they're there? No. They're going to just experience every hardship that comes to them is just going to be pain. That's it. There's no reason behind the pain. And there's nothing for them to live beyond that pain, meaning there's nothing else to keep them motivated, other than just to stay away from pain. Stay away from pain and maximize my pleasure. That's it. That's the philosophy of today. Right? If you don't know where you're going, that's basically nobody wants pain and everyone wants pleasure. That's the same worldview that a person who's blind walking up a mountain. Now let's compare this to the other person. The other person has embarked on this journey and they know where they are first. They know that they're on a mountain. Right? They know that they're walking up this hill. Secondly, they know where they're aiming to get to. Where is that? At the peak. And they know that whatever's at the peak is more valuable and greater than where they're at the moment, which is at the base of the mountain or at the side of the mountain. They know that whatever I'm going to now, what I'm going to experience is going to be done. So when they experience difficulty, challenge, taklif, obstacles, do they see it as, I'm going to give up? No, you keep going, right? It's part of the adventure. What makes an adventure is the tribulations and the challenges, and then your ability to overcome those challenges. That's the mindset of the believer. That the Mashayikh say that one of the mindsets of the Prophet ﷺ is that you live this life like an adventurer. An adventurer goes on difficult tasks, but he perceives those tasks as part of the adventure. Why? Because the believer has an end goal. He is focused on achieving what is greater. And he sees whatever difficulty they are going through as just part of the journey. It's part of what makes the experience fun. Because you look back at it and you think, you know what, I remember that time when I was getting blisters on my feet and I pushed forward. And those are, you look back and you think, you know, those are character defining moments. Those are the times that I really found out what I was made out of. Has anyone been in a difficult situation, you thought, and you go through it and you surprise yourself that you went through it and you look back and you think, I didn't know I had that. Has anyone gone through an experience like this? Has anyone gone through any difficulty in their life where they look back at and they thought, I didn't know I had this in me? Yeah, we all have, right? So this is part of the purpose. We say beautiful relationship with yourself. It means that you also discover yourself. So this is one of the benefits of having this worldview. If you see in the slide, sorry, that having this worldview of the full picture, the full journey of man. Because when you see actually that my life didn't start in this world, and it came from the world before this world, in the world of spirits, and actually my real life will carry on in the Akhirah, then this should help us have more a broader mind. That actually, a broad-minded person is like the eagle. When an eagle flies over the land, even mountains look very small, isn't it? Same way, when a believer has this broad mindset, that the mountains of difficulty, tribulation, calamity, death, problems, they're also small. Because why? Your view is bigger. But when you have a small mind, meaning narrow-mindedness, where you just say, everything is about this world, and you're YOLO, you only live once, and it's about getting all the pleasures in this world, and maybe there might be afterlife, maybe there might not, but I don't really care, it's not my problem, I'll find out when I get there. That person is a person who's like an ant. And an ant, a small crumb of food, a small speck of dust or dirt is like a mountain for an ant. So this is like people like me who get angry when I find the dirty stuff on the floor. Or get angry because somebody said something I didn't like. Or get angry because something didn't work out in my life the way that I wanted to. Or I get angry over small matters because I didn't like the way my mom or dad told me to do clean up. Isn't it? Because our worldview is so narrow that these small things become big then. So, as Ustaz Zafar mentioned, that these should be takeaways. Actually, firstly, after hearing the session, we should reflect that actually, firstly, we should have a clear objective. The objective is that we were created out of the love of Allah, and we were created for Allah. So as I mentioned in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتَ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, that I only created man and jinn to worship me. And the Mufassirin have said worship. What is worship? Anyone tell me, what does worship mean? Can anyone tell me what is worship? No. What does worship mean?
Like praise Allah.
Okay, praise is part of that, yes.
Submission.
Submission, yeah, that is part of it, yeah. To serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, excellent. So mashallah, these are all correct answers. But one of the ways to think about worship is it's an extreme of love. Now when you love something so much, you devote your entire being to that. That's what worship is. It's an extreme of love. Have you heard somebody say, I love such and such, it's as if I worship them? I mean, if you look at any person who loves something, they don't just love it, it influences them as well, isn't it? It takes some form of control over them. If you look at people who have fellow pop stars or celebrities or footballers, they don't just end and say, oh, I like them. You have hardcore people who dress like them, speak like them, like the things that they like. They'll follow them. That's a sign of an attachment, that it has some control over you, has some influence over you. So yes, submission and all these things, but actually worship is the extreme of love. So we were created for what? For love. And to love who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right. This is important that we understand this, because the rest of this retreat now will be focusing on how do we do that. It's good and well telling you, okay, you have to get from here to Manchester. Is that going to benefit you? Telling you simply you need to get from here to Manchester. No, isn't it? You're going to start benefiting when you start actually walking or traveling toward Manchester, isn't it? Otherwise, just knowing, okay, the house is on fire, there's a fire exit there, and I tell you the fire exit there, and you tell you it's sitting there. You're going to burn in the house. So the day you start benefiting is when you start to pursue your goal. So the next part of this session is now going to be touching upon what does it mean to start your journey in fulfilling your purpose in life. If we can understand that, the how, then alhamdulillah, we can focus our energy there, because that's what we need to focus our energy on in order to get to our destination. If we just simply sit here and I went to another lecture and I was really good and I felt good and they told me the purpose of life, and then I went back to my old ways and I went back to normal, a person has not benefited. It's like going to a lecture to learn about weight loss. You can go and sit at the feet of the world experts on weight loss and training and health and routine. But guess what? If you go to all of their lessons, you go to 10,000 hours of their lessons, you would not have lost a single pound by going to that lesson. Single ounce of weight. You will learn how to, but you wouldn't have lost any weight. You probably put on more weight sitting down all that time. You benefit the day you start training, the day you start putting into practice what you need to in order to achieve the objective. So now, your attention should be clear now that actually this is very important now what we're going to cover, because it's going to teach us how to achieve that beautiful relationship with Allah, how to achieve that beautiful relationship with ourselves, how to achieve that beautiful relationship with creation. If we know how to do this, this is the best guidance anybody can get, and this is what the prophets came for. This is why Hidayah, guidance, is a gift. It's such a gift. It's free, and it's the most valuable thing you can possibly get. Some of the most valuable things that you have in life are free. And if you don't believe that, hold your breath. Because the oxygen around you is more valuable than anything that you think is valuable in your life right now. You don't breathe for some of you, or particularly me, I'm very unfair at this point, for more than a minute, I'll probably pass out and suffocate. So that shows how fragile we are, and it shows how valuable that Allah has created abundance, those things that we most in dire need. And guidance is like oxygen, it's like the air that you're absolutely needing. Because if you have this answer on how to achieve, then you can sort your life out, alhamdulillah. Like the brothers have said, people who don't have a purpose in life, you're looking around, just swept up in dunya, this entertainment, games, mispurposing their life, depression, anxiety. Obviously, it's like the person who's blind walking up the mountain. It's just pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure. Nobody knows why they're there. It just feels like suffering. That's what eventually what happens. And this is why I mentioned the Quran. These are two ayats. So whatever you have will perish one day, but what Allah has as a reward of good deeds is everlasting. And we will surely give those who are patient their reward according to the best of what they used to do. Meaning that whatever you go through in this is giving you perspective that this is just temporary. What Allah has planned is forever, and ever, and ever, and ever, and ever. And similarly, it's mentioned in the Quran that whoever does righteous deeds, whether male or female, while he is a believer, we will surely grant him a happy life, a blessed life. And we will surely give them their reward in the akhirah according to the best of what they used to do. So this idea that, oh, if I become a pious person or good person, that means that I'm going to miss out on all this pleasure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises you that if you follow the one who created this dunya and knows all of the cheat codes and all of the shortcuts, if you follow their plan and they know you better than you know yourself, then you will live an even more pleasurable and better life. That's the irony. That Shaitan has, through marketing, made something that's actually bad for you good. Like if I ask you, does anyone want to drink acid? You say no, it's going to burn you. But Shaitan's got this skill that he's made things look good. So the Mashaykh say the same with deeds, that we should also be able to show that actually this life that Allah is asking you to live, actually if you observe and examine those people's lives, they are also successful in dunya and akhirah. So if you want the dunya, come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well, as Ustad Zafar mentioned, that the dunya serves the one that serves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we mentioned, to summarize, there is a physical, intellectual, and spiritual birth. Now, this is the important part. How to achieve that birth. So as is mentioned, first there was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone and their attributes, their qualities. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the spirit. That's me and you. Now can anyone tell me, what was the spirit given? It was given certain things. What was one of those things that it was given?
Conscience.
A conscience? Okay, what does that mean? Conscience.
It's
Very good. So it's mentioned in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offered the freedom or an al-amana, this trust. And this trust was offered to the different creations, but it was man and jinnat that took this trust. And it mentioned, verily, they were unjust to themselves. And we'll touch upon this later. Why does the Quran say that verily humans were unjust to themselves? But we'll shut off for now. That's right. We'll give it freedom of choice. You can see this is amana, freedom of will. Now, to test us, because now, unlike every other creation cannot disobey Allah. The angels, they can't disobey Allah. But me and you, we have this choice now. We can choose to obey Allah, we can choose not to obey Allah. And why this is important is because, let's say your friend, he doesn't have the choice to see anybody else, you're his only friend. Okay, mashallah, he's your friend. But he doesn't have any other alternatives. Okay? So you are his only friend. Versus a friend who has hundreds of friends. But when he comes to spending his time, he said, I want to spend my time with you. Which one is more valuable? Which one is more closer? Which one do you appreciate more? The first friend or the second friend? Why? Why the second friend? He chooses you. Okay? And what else? He chooses you. Why is that make it more valuable? Because the other person doesn't have choice. Right? The other person doesn't have any alternatives. So that shows that this person has given you preference. Well, the other person he might be your only friend and he doesn't have any other friends. But the day somebody else comes along, they'll leave you. So up until that point, he's your best friend. There was no other alternative, there's no other person to come in your life and tempt them away from you. But now, the day that they're tested, they leave you. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the world. The world is a meaning of test. It's there to test us that we've given you this freedom of choice. You recognize that I am your Lord. Now let's put that to the test. To what extent do you recognize me and love me? This whole arena is a test of love. What do you love? What dominates your life? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us things to be tested with. Just like when you go to have your driving test, you're given a car. That's what you're examined on. You're examined on how you drive the car. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also gave me and you a car. That car is the body. So the spirit is placed in this vehicle of the body. The body is what the physical self. This is what we act with. Now, the second thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us is the aql, the mind. Now, the faculty of the mind, what is the mind used for? Can anyone tell me? What's the mind used for? Yes.
Consciousness.
Consciousness, okay. That word keeps coming up, but you need to explain it. Yes. Sorry? To think the aql, yes, it's also is related to the meaning of examination, to examine, to consider options. MashaAllah. The third aspect is the heart. What type of heart is it? What's this heart? Can anyone tell me? Ahmed. A purified heart, okay? Yes? Okay. This is not referring to the biological heart because the biological heart is part of the body, so it's the physical self. This is the, what do you think? What type of heart is this?
Spiritual.
Spiritual heart. What's the spiritual heart?
It's to achieve closeness to Allah subhanahu.
Okay, to achieve closeness, yes.
The ability to love.
That's one of the aspects of the heart, that's right. So the heart is the moral self, meaning this is where character is stored. It's part of the spirit actually. So it's part of the spirit, and it's one of the spiritual organs that was given that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in one of the hadith, that nothing can contain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except for the heart of the believing servant. Meaning that, in the meaning of this reference, that it's not talking about physically, Allah can't be contained physically, it means the love of Allah. That the love of Allah, the heart was designed to love Allah, to have an attachment towards Allah. If you put anything else in it, it doesn't fit that. It's like putting petrol in a diesel tank. It's not going to start the car, it's going to lead to problems. So you have to know what the need of this heart is. And the other aspect of the heart is to decorate it with good character traits. When you say character traits, what do you mean? Give me some examples. What's character? Good adab, mashallah. Can someone give me some examples of good adab? What's character? Name me some qualities.
Maybe perhaps smiling at people.
Smiling at people, yeah.
Positive.
Positive vibe. Does someone understand?
Discipline and
Give me some names of qualities. Humble, excellent. Humbleness is a quality. When you meet somebody who's his brothers or sisters so humble.
Honesty and generosity.
Honesty, truthfulness, generosity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is generous. Al-Ghani, Al-Wahhab. Allah is truthful. Al-Haq. Any others?
Gratefulness.
Gratefulness. Shukr. Allah is Ash-Shakur. The great appreciator, infinite appreciator. Yes.
Being forgiving.
Forgiving, yes. Allah has many qualities that refer to their forgiveness. So this heart is there to reflect also the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what it means to have closeness, that you resemble the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. The fourth thing, the soul, meaning the nafs. What's the nafs? Yes.
Desire to do something bad.
Yes, the emotions, desires, the psychological self, the emotional self, the desire self. This also was given to me and you. And then finally, the spirit. Now, which one of these are we? Sorry? The spirit. Excellent. We are the spirit. We're not the body, we're not the mind, we're not the heart, we're not the soul. These are things that are given to us. It's like saying, I am my eyes, or I am my ears, or I am my nose. No, these are things given to us. These are faculties, they are aspects of us, but they're not us, are they?
What's the big difference between the soul and the spirit?
Okay, that's good.
Is the soul that only we have from doing
right.
The hereafter it's taken away.
Right, okay. So, firstly, the brothers asked, what's the difference between the nafs or the soul and the ruh, the spirit? So the difference is, firstly, the ruh was what was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and was given, created in the world of spirits. This is what we took as a covenant. This is me and you. Okay? This nafs only comes into existence in this world when the spirit and the body come together. So it's like H2O, that when you have hydrogen and two oxygen, then it forms water. If you remove one oxygen, then it's not water, is it? So the nafs only exists when the spirit and the body come together, and this third entity comes into existence, which is the emotional self, the desires. Now we need this in this world. Why? Because without the desire to feel hungry, will you eat? That would be very difficult. Without the desire to feel motivated in the morning to study your work, it would be difficult, wouldn't it? So desires help us live. They help us when you have pleasure in food. Imagine you had to eat food, you feel hungry, but you didn't find any pleasure in it. That's also a blessing from Allah that we feel pleasure. It's motivating us to eat, isn't it? Yeah.
Now, back to Nafs. I've heard that Nafs joy to do bad things, and I've also heard that there's other Nafs that joy to do good things.
Yes, yes. So at this point, we haven't said the Nafs is bad. It's just emotions. Like the intellect, the akal, it's not bad. It depends on how you use it. Same cases for all of these. None of these are bad. The body isn't bad, the mind isn't bad, the heart isn't bad, the soul isn't bad. They are bad or good depending on how you use it, the spirit. If you choose to use it in a bad way, then you have a shaitanic mind, you can have a shaitanic heart, you can have a shaitanic nafs. If you choose it to be in a good way, these can be very powerful weapons as well, for good. So we're going to touch on later, we're going to go in detail of these different types of nafs, as you mentioned. But that's a very good point. But the nafs isn't evil, this is a misconception. Nafs, as much as we blame it, the nafs made me do this, actually is you, the spirit. You're lazy, it's because you're lazy. Don't blame the nafs is doing what it's meant to do. Just like the body is meant to do what it's meant to do, which is the physical side, and the mind is also thinking, the body is active. You can't blame them. You are to blame, the spirit. Right. Now, I want you to get up and in pairs of 2 or 3s as you're standing, I want you to tell me why is it important that we understand who we are. So we just learned that we are the spirit. We're not the body, the mind, the heart, the soul. Just like we explained before, like, what's the importance of knowing why we are the spirit? What's the importance of knowing that this is our identity? And what happens if you don't realize that this is your identity? So there's 2 parts to that. What's the importance of knowing, and what happens if you don't know? Is that clear? So again, everybody stand for a minute. And I want you to discuss this in pairs of 3s or 2s. Try to pair with someone that you haven't spoken to yet. So I want to break up everybody. Everyone from somebody from this side, come on this side, and vice versa. Mix up. What's the danger of that? So for those brothers who might have forgotten the question, The question is, what's the importance of knowing your identity and what's the danger of not knowing your identity?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. MashaAllah, by the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jalla wa ala, I was just passing by and thought that you are seekers of knowledge, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in one hadith that seekers of knowledge, when they embark upon seeking knowledge, angels are so much impressed that they spread their wings and they want their feet to be stepped on their wings to take barakah and blessing. And heavens and earth's inhabitants, even fish in the sea, that they pray for, they do dua for these people. Why? Why inhabitants of earth and other? Because when people like this, when seekers of knowledge, divine knowledge, and righteous people will not be there, as a hadith in Sahih Bukhari, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that Allah will keep on sustaining the system and the existence of this life, earth and solar system, until even there is one person who possesses the true knowledge of pleasure of Allah and is practicing and conveying. Up to the very last one, Allah will keep this system running. And once he has passed away, heaven and earth, meaning it will be destroyed, it will be finished, dismantled, and that's called Qiyamah, Day of Judgment. So, because of these people, the creation also knows, the birds, the animal kingdom, the lion, the fish, and the angels. They also know that it is because of this knowledge of the path to Allah and the practices of this knowledge that we are existing, because they will be finished as well. They will be destroyed. Their life is as though in the hands of these pious and righteous people. Because until then, Qiyamah will never be established, even if there is one person. Because in the hadith comes when Isa alayhi salam will come and Sayyidina Imām Mahdi, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and when they will pass away and they will depart from this world, then again there will be chaos and shaitanic world will overtake. And slowly, slowly, pious and righteous people will finish, and even one world will be left, but still Allah will keep it running. But when that will be gone as well, then everything will destroy. So that is the reason angels welcome seekers of this religious and knowledge and things, because they know this is also reason and means for their existence and the existence of the sun, the existence of the stars and things. Because they also do dhikr, but Allah will not keep running the world because of them. Angels also do dhikr, but Allah will not keep on sustaining the universe because of them. It is when human beings that their dhikr and their remembrance and their obedience and their practicing is actually valued by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Jinnat. So that is actually, we can say that this is the fadila and the greatness of awliya or one wali, that because of one wali, Allah Azza wa Jalla, like the hadith in Sahih Bukhari, because of one wali, Allah will keep the system running. That's why even now, it is sustained through one wali, which is the house of the time. By his means, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses him to actually, when they are gone, the system is gone as well. So, alhamdulillah, because you are also one of those people who are seeking to know oneself, know about Allah, know about actually why you exist and things. So if you have good intention, you are blessed as well. And then if you practice that good intention, then you are more blessed, light upon light. Anyway, intention was to do your ziyarah and also maybe to ask any question which anything which you have. So you have this opportunity. So everyone who comes here to any religious gathering, they basically come to change. They want to go to higher level wherever they are. If they're not praying, they want to pray. If they have some bad things, bad habits which they do, they want to leave them. So outwardly they see themselves, so they're not the type of person they like to be. When they look at their day and night, their behavior, inside they want like to be ideal person. But outside their behavior, they're not. So there is a difference. There is a difference. How to then cover that difference? That's why people come to mosques and religious education and knowledge and things, because they want to change. There are not so many things which is blocking a person. There are only a few things which block a person. The rest of the person is fine, etc. So, how to actually change the knowledge which you are learning now? Actually, will you change? No, that will not change you. So like in the screen you were seeing here, you see here, it says mind. Right? So mind, all the knowledge which you are learning is coming in here. The mind and the brain. So whatever you are learning, whatever you're studying, whatever the lecture you are studying or listening to, it's coming there. But the software which is running you, your master software, is not actually just the mind, is actually this thing, heart or subconscious mind. So they are both, you may say, part of same thing. One we can call brain, one can be called heart, but conscious and subconscious, they're parts of mind, and the heart is connected to it. So who is running the game? It is this thing here, not this one, because this just as knowledge and information. So one of the traps which Shaitan actually leads people when they want to become good, he said, oh, go and attend that lecture, go and study Quran, go and study Hadith, But all that knowledge of hadith and Quran and thing is coming in here in this thing. Brain, mind, memory. But that's not running the show. It's not the software which is running your body and your heart and even your mind. That's not it. It's here, so it's going into a different cup here, the top right. Which is the software installed is here, the subconscious, the heart. That's the running the system. That's running the show. It's not there. So you see, sometimes you see people, they are puppets in front of you. Government, they're puppet governments, they're puppets in the show, like you put, when many of you go to school, there's strings attached and they're puppets. So who is running actually the thing? It is the one who are controlling behind. The government might be following another government, might be a puppet government. For example, UK government, maybe let's say they are following another, the government is controlling another superpower is controlling. But in front of it is them, but really in control is someone else. So similarly, we see people, their bodies, and we see them, but someone else, something else is controlling them. And that software, basically like in your phone, you can have 4, 5, 6 different softwares. Let's say you buy from the market, but which software will be running this laptop? The one which is installed. So I can have a stack of 10, 15 here, different apps and different very wonderful software, but which software will be running the laptop? This is the question. These, the 10 here, or the one which is installed, or the one which is just actually in the memory. What do you think, children? Which one do you think is running? They can just mention, John. Yes, you in the front line, 1, 2, 3, 4, anyone. The ones are stacked here, or which is the running the laptop?
So the Apple software.
Sorry?
Where you're running it with the Apple software.
No, I got 10 software here, the updated versions of Apple software, or the new variants, but they are here. But which software is running the laptop? The ones which are here, or the ones which are in the computer?
The one is in the computer installed inside the computer.
You have children? I'll ask each other. You might be, people can be children even when they are late 90s, because knowledge-wise they are less. So from that point of view, he is right. He's answered right as well. So from knowledge, spiritual point of view, people are different ages. So yes, he's right that look, the 10 software, you get a software update in your phone, but it doesn't work. It doesn't get installed until you don't install it. It doesn't run your phone. You see, you might hear a beep, oh yeah, there is a software update. But it's not running your phone or whatever else, because it's an update, but update needs to be installed. Update means the old knowledge has come, but it's not running your system, running your phone, running your laptop. So here, this mind thing you see here on the right corner, this is where we receive all information and updates, meaning knowledge, you are learning new things, you are learning, but it's not running you. Something else is running the show of your life. It is when that knowledge gets transferred into this heart creation, then that is the actual thing which is running. So if you want to change, you have to get it in there. It won't be just change. Many people, that's why you say, oh, this person is scholar, why did he do this? or just a simple person, oh, he knows what's wrong. Why is he doing it? Because it's not in his system. It's not installed. That's why he's doing it. So the question is how you can do that. How does it get transferred from it? How does it get installed? For example, from phone's point of view, you just have to press a button, install, and then it starts installing. And then you have to switch off, or it switches off itself and updates and the things. So you need. But how does it happen with human beings? This is what you are doing because you are a human being. Answer is, in human beings, the journey from this mind to the subconscious and to the heart and soul, the journey, how this journey takes place is, for example, from here, from the information to actually come to this heart, there are 100 steps or 150 steps. Like we came up the stairs. If I don't step on every step or cover, or I won't be here. I have to cover these steps. So what are the steps? So let's say you want to pray 5 times. That's information. Everyone knows azan happened. But how are you going to pray 5 times? You know you should be praying, but you are not. So when you are not, how does it? It needs, let's say, 100 steps. What are those 100 steps? That means that you have to repeat those 5 prayers 100 times, 100 repetitions. That's 100 days, 5 days, every day you're doing, every day you're doing, once you hit the 100 mark, it will be installed in you. Now it will be installed in you, with just a thought, you will be like when your software is installed, with just a command, software starts working. So you will say, yeah, I want to pray, you will be end up praying. Let's say you have a habit of, may Allah save us, pornography. A person lies seeing nude women and things, etc., whatever. Now he knows deep down that he shouldn't be doing it, but they're doing it. He even feels guilty himself. He doesn't want his mother to see it. He doesn't want his wife to see it. He doesn't want his friend to see it. He doesn't want anyone to see it, but he is guilty himself. But he keeps on doing it and he is stressed out. What does he do? He has to uninstall. Sometimes you have to uninstall things. So that's installed here, this thing in the heart. He wants to, same journey back, 100 steps back to here. There only remains information and it's fleshed out the system. What he does, he has to stop 100 times. So next day, for example, in the evening when you are on a break, and you know, oh yeah, I have this urge to watch. No, that's the time you resist. Number 1 is step 1 of that. Nighttime, Shaitan puts thoughts, yeah, you should watch this, there's a good movie, this, etc. Again, you resist. Every day, when you hit the 100 mark, it's out of your system. It's easy for you. Information is there. Shaitan can still say to you, but you have the ability to resist. Similarly, drugs, cigarettes, whatever. So you can uninstall anything. You can install anything. You can install it. That's why Prophet ﷺ said, Allah likes an amal which is small but done constantly. Why? Because that becomes installed in the system. And you do a big amal, it's not installed in the system like you do tahajjud one day, 20 rakats or 50 rakat, but it's only one day thing. The benefit will vanish away. But if you get up for tahajjud time, you just do your dhikr, you don't offer any prayer, you do 10 times subhanallah, 10 times alhamdulillah, 10 Allah, but that's constant. over time is going to be installed in you. That will open doors for more virtue. So you don't need to just feel guilty and let shaitan play and laugh, and he's laughing and smiling and making fun of you, and you and me sitting like dummies, can't do anything, like ducks, actually just to be actually meaning finished off. No, you are human being, you have power. And one of those powers to empower you, I have already mentioned to you. You are not sitting ducks or dummies. You don't need to be. Allah has not created you, but that's how we are doing it. We are just sitting there, and he comes around and slaps on this, and we're there. Slap with a slap of pornography, slap of an anger, slap of haram money, slap of this, and we are just taking the beating. And we know it's wrong, but we don't know the technique. It's like in martial arts, you have to learn technique to fight the enemy, or to fight or self-defense from actually. If you don't learn that, then you're actually. So there are many techniques which are taught in the course of tazkiyah or purification. That's not known as tazkiyah, by the way, the process which I'm taking, the 100 steps from the 100 repetitions. So now you know you don't need, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want you to just say, oh Allah, I can't do it. Allah, now you know that you repeat something for so many times, 100 times, 70 times, 100 times, it will come in you. Whatever you want. You want a smiley face? Smile 100 days, all day, wherever you say a person, you will have a smiley face at the end of the day. And if you want angry face, frowning face, do that and you will have that. So basically, the bad things which you do not like in yourself are there because you've been doing them repeatedly certain times, and they're there. And the good things which are not there because you've not repeated them. That's all. There's no big philosophy. And that's what this tazkiyah course actually helps you. It's designed in such a way that it's not knowledge. You know maybe better than myself what evil, like people who do bad things. Shaitan knows more evil and more good. People know more evil even than they're doing whatever level they're going, drugs, what type of drugs they are, etc. Meaning that's not the point. They know it is bad, they know the level, they know the things. Only thing is that they don't know how to uninstall it, flush it out from your system. Things. So now this will be one of the tools which you can fight. It is a sword which you can cut any evil if it's clinging to you, and you can fight your way to any goodness which you want. What is that sword? The power, the willpower which is repeating again. You don't even need very high willpower. You just need to repeat and practice whatever you want, whatever habit you want, whatever you don't want, start resisting it, and it will be out. You don't have to do all your life. It's just a matter of 30 days, sometimes 50, 40 days, 60 days, 100 days. Different people take different times. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and give you understanding and also practice. And now if you have any question regarding this, what I've said, if you've not understood anything, please do mention. Because it's important, it is the weapon and it's a silver bullet for you to actually get your way and actually into paradise and to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't, then shaitan will play with you like football.
If anybody has a question, please raise your hand.
Wa alaikum salam. Ameen.
How do you know which habit why is 30 days from 50 to 70 to 100?
Right. That's what their mentors are there for. That's why they are mentors, but normally it actually takes 30 days. That's what the Quran indicates when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that to change you, to bring taqwa in you, I have prescribed fasting, and it's 30. So in 30 days, you might have to repeat 300 times, because in one day there are many, many repetitions. But as a whole mark, as a rule of thumb, 30 days, and how many other times you have to, let's say I have urge of cigarette or pornography or whatever, anger, fits, maybe 10 times in a day. But I will be practicing 30 days altogether. And once you reach the 30 days threshold continuously, you hit the mark. You'll find it easy for yourself. I mean, just look at driving. A person who is learning driving, if he takes 30 lessons in a row, he can become a driver, will be able to drive a car. So yeah, so simple change comes in that. Then to master it, you need a little bit more actually. But that's why we say the course of Tazkiyah, that Tariqa Muhammadiyah, it has built in this system. You even don't have to think how long it takes, what I have to do. You are told everything. The mentor also is there to coach you, and your job is just to actually keep on doing for a particular time, and you get the result. It's very, very simple. Yes. Yeah.
How do you recognize that you had a good day full of life? How do you realize that Allah satisfied you throughout the day? And yeah, that's
very easy. That is actually, according to you, forget about what you don't know, because you don't know anyway. You see, whatever you know up to now pleases Allah. Whatever you know, you start and you do that through the day, and whatever you know displeases Allah, you stop, then you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased, because Allah treats everyone according to their knowledge. You don't need to be a scholar actually to know that. Actually, Allah will say, okay, this person only knows. For example, if a person is only in primary school, year 5, the exam will be of year 5. If he does do good according to year 5 books, he is passed. The teacher cannot say, oh, by GCSE standard you are fair, because you're not there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wusaha, but He does not burden a soul more than actually it can. So the fardil which one has, and then whatever little they know. So simply think, what do I know? I don't know, I'm not a big scholar, but things I know which pleases Allah. I do things I know which I stop. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of His fadl become pleased. You should know that I spend the day whilst Allah is pleased. Whilst reality is by standard of Allah, by standard of PhD, maybe you fail, but Allah does not deal with people according to the level of other people or His knowledge. He deals with people according to their knowledge, provided they have meaning. So very easy. So don't rely upon once you do your good deed, rely upon the fadl of Allah, and alhamdulillah, this is achieved. Yes.
Welcome, Islam. I just wanted to ask, if you were to do the 100 days transformation, trying to do yourself better, would you recommend to stay away from certain things, maybe any advice or tips to make it easier on the journey rather than just trying to jump straight into it? Because I know a lot of people might try and jump straight into it,
right,
and jump out immediately.
Yes. Because this thing is not an ad hoc thing. Like I'll set an idea, I'll make a computer today. How can you make a computer today? I do this. This is something which is already to the smallest step is actually mapped out for you. End of the retreat, you will be given that. You will be shown that. You don't even need to think what I need, how much I need. A gradual process, baby steps, according to your level, this already designed. It's not even left to people like me or yourself to, oh, how should I do? Shall I jump in quickly or shall I gradually? If I do jump in, I don't know how to jump in. If I do gradually, what gradual things I should start with, what, etc. So that's why all that job is done. The hard work is done. For yours is only the easy part left, actually, which is within your choice. So you will, at the end of the retreat, not theoretically, practically, in black and white, these are the things you can start with, and baby steps and small steps and things which are, because that's how people progress. No one, even when Quran came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not enforce 5 prayer in the beginning. There were no prayer in the beginning. Then tahajjud came, then 2 prayer came, then 5 prayer came, but there was two rakats only. Then they were turned into 4 farb, and then actually other thing. After 13 years, 15 years, fasting came. 9-year prayer came. So there's a gradual system. That's what you, if you've not seen, brothers will show you the book and the full methodology of the prophetic methodology, how to transform yourself. But the key behind is what I've said. If you tend any self, that's the fraud which is happening. Well, the shaitan is doing greatest fraud with humanity. That we are attending seminar, 5-year course, 4-year course, but all information is in our mind, not in the subconscious mind, which is running the show. So he said he can learn 15 years, but he will be still a dummy, still a duck sitting to be actually finished off, because all the information is going in the conscious mind, nothing in the software, nothing is installed, so all information more than us, 100,000 times more than us, is already in Shaitan's mind as well. But his heart has not been installed, it's not installed there. So he's failing. That's what he wants us to do. On the same footing, oh, brother, you learn this, you know this shaft, you know this, I've studied with this. It doesn't matter, he studied with angels. He studied with actually prophets. He studied with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah was teaching him to do this. It doesn't benefit until it's not installed. That's what you will be given, this tool at the end. And then you know you have this lethal and this very effective sword. You can cut your way through any devil, any habit, anything. Nothing can stop you now. Firstly, you didn't know. It's like sometime in the movies and drama, you see an enemy forces fighting, but normal bullets are not working on these beings. For example, like for example, it's a movie, normal bullets are not working, they're not human being or something. Normal bullets are not moving, and they are figuring out how to now actually, like zombies or whatever, how to actually neutralize them, because nothing is working on them. So if you've seen that movie or that they have to come up with a cure, actually something like coronavirus, if there's a vaccination, there is some bullet, special weapon. Once they find that, they know they can finish them off. Once they don't have zombies, they're not affected by knives or actually, you may say, guns or things or whatever. They're not. And that's what's happening as well. We are fighting Shaitan, is like a zombie, and it's not affecting him. Knowledge does not affect him. Knowledge does not affect him. Information does not affect him. Only one thing affects him is once we repeat something so many times, that becomes our such bullet, such weapon, that he cannot withstand that. Otherwise, there was many 10 years ago, there was a movie called Lord of the Rings. I don't even remember. 3 actually they made. And you see, they had those things actually were not actually, you may say, dismantled. They said that whoever has the ring, if the ring is destroyed, all things are done. Or the special type of sword which was got. All these shayateen, they just get neutralized once you have that. And the ring. Ring is this power which I am saying to you. Once you have that, alhamdulillah, you can. Whoever will have that. If shaitan have, he will, if he is repeating to evil, so he is actually become the king of evil because he is repeating things, bad things again, and making you, so you also become actually like that. So that is what you should be achieving. Theek hai, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, and do pray for me as well. And I am going in a journey to Iraq. I will also, inshallah, remember you.
Jazakallah khair to the athletic teacher taking wonderful time at their Jane.
Sorry? Yes, they can if they want.
If the brothers that can quickly line up here, they can do a quick meet with the blessed teachers because they are huge. The brothers come this way.
Please come this way.
Quickly, do that, please.
MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum. I'll be going now. Alaikum salam. MashaAllah. Very good. Both ठीक है? MashaAllah. Very good. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah. अच्छा, MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Good question. MashaAllah. Thank you. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Now we keep it. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. क्या हाल है? ठीक है. Salam rahmatullah barakatuh. Salam. Very good. Very good. ठीक. How are you? माशाल्लाह. और ठीक है. ये चीजें मैंने जो बताई है ना, इनको रिपीट करने की जरूरत है.
This is Imām Muhammad.
अच्छा, माशाल्लाह. माशाल्लाह. इंशाल्लाह. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Once we just take a seat, inshallah, we'll continue the session with the start the Haroon Ahmed, inshallah. Resume your seats.
So then we'll just take a seat, inshallah, and we'll wait for the next session to inshallah.
Brother, just remain here, then we'll be starting in the next minute.
Give a 2-minute break. Dear brothers, yeah, the 10-minute break, so if you can return back at 12:45, please, so that 1:45 back, please, a short 10 minute break.